the 30th of June revolution. Actually, it's the 3rd anniversary, and joining us right now in the studio is Dr. Wala Wasfi, and she is a professor of political marketing. Good morning, Dr. Wala.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. And let me start also by talking, definitely we have many different events, celebrations on the occasion of 3rd anniversary of the 30th of June revolution. But also the president recently delivered 3 speeches in a very short period of time. Especially yesterday, it was a very short one. Yet every time he talks about the challenges, and he warns Egyptians about the challenges we are facing these days. And this is the most important part when it comes to political marketing, because we have to be aware of all the situation, because other than this, definitely we won't be able to continue.
Yes. From the political marketing point of view, let me analyze the word of the president that he states yesterday. There's a lot of very important messages to Egyptians and to all over the world. Among that, yes, we are celebrating the 3rd anniversary of the revolution, and that we are facing a lot of terrorism actions regardless religion, whatever the religion is. And the whole world is facing that, not only Egypt. And also he insists on saying that he keen on signing a lot of agreements and projects in order to develop and to seek for economic stability in addition to political one. This is the good point that the citizen or the Egyptian citizen would like to listen to. But I have a point that I would like to say. Please let me say it. I talk about the background or the stuff that helped the president or the one who write the word. Please don't use the same terminology or the same way or the same back or the scene behind the president or the way he said his speech. I was willing that to be in a different way, in a more not formal as before, as we used to see it since a lot of years ago. The one who wrote it, yes, the president is used to say his own words that reach Egyptians more than the written one.
I'm not going to interrupt you, but Mr. wanted to say something here, because when the president starts to talk in a different way with the Egyptians without using this formal style,
yes,
some Egyptians, they complain and they say he is just talking like this, and some others say yes, he is speaking the words from his heart just to Egyptians. And when he speaks this way, again Egyptians complain. That's why it just came to my mind.
Okay, about that, both complaints.
Yes.
Neither nor, neither that nor that. So it's very important.
How can he satisfy all the 90 million?
He's not the one who, he got the main idea that he would like to deliver, but the one who writes the Arabic terminology, the words and the terms that used before since years ago, must stop that, must change that way. Also, regardless all those situations, it goes back not to the president, in the team of political marketing, how to deliver the message. He got his own message that he delivered, but there's a staff and there's an organization, the governmental organization overall, that support him. So I think that they have to focus on that point, not only in that speech or that formal one, in all over the speeches. Even if he went out what is written, it's up to him, and it reached Egyptians more. But I'm talking about the terminology. It's not regarding the president. It's regarding the team of political marketing that must be aware of that.
Well, indeed, that's a very important issue, and
yes,
we hope that eventually, through time, they'll change that. I'd like to ask you also, from your field of expertise, from your point of view, what's the greatest or the most important achievement that has happened during these past years, or the 3 years actually, from the revolution till now?
We have to focus on a very important point that many people did not mention. Maybe yesterday there was not great celebrations in the street regarding the environment or the weather condition and Ramadan and the holy month. So only we heard number of cars moving in streets with mics. I hate that way, by the way, because we have to change from our own self. In order to criticize, it's not to destroy. No, it's to construct and to learn, to be more developed. So those, and unfortunately, people who did so were members in the parliament, so they have to stop that old-fashioned way too. But we have to focus on the most important thing that the President Sisi took, that he became a civil man instead of a General Abdel Fattah Sisi. And we have to stop up to now in order that citizens that they talk or that the military system is controlling Egypt. No, he's a civil man right now. He's not a member in the military system anymore. He left it since he go to his office or start the elections at the beginning, the presidential elections. We have to focus on that. But at that point, and he achieved the roadmap that he said. Yes, we were starting from the constitution in order to political stability, economic, a lot of things that he are facing. So we faced a lot of challenges in those 3 years. I think people are more aware. At the beginning, they were talking about the military system. And if we can remember the international media, what they wrote about us since 3 years ago, they can't write what they wrote right now. They wrote since 3 years ago that the president is from the military system and it was the minister and its scope and so and so and so on. They said a lot of things, but they can't say so right now. And also the most important thing that the president did since the 3 years is the visits to all other countries. Japan, United States, even Obama, France, and agreements and protocols and a lot of things that really deliver a message. Stop what you're writing. This is by the acceptance of the Egyptians.
Back to the speeches that were delivered by the president recently. And whenever the president speaks to Egyptians, he always stresses on the importance of the awareness of the challenges. And the most important part is just combating terrorism. And just as we can see, even recently, a couple of days, what happened in Turkey as well. And definitely this is something of great importance. And he was talking a lot about the challenges that we are facing in Egypt. And also he asked media, because you mentioned media right now, to be more cautious, accurate, because we are building the entities of the government as well. So let's talk about this in more details, the message that was delivered from this actually, because always the media plays a major role, especially, for example, when a terrorist attack takes place in Egypt or anything that affects us, like the plane, for example, crash. Immediately people, they go and, because we have no security, because of this and that, without even waiting for investigations, we criticize ourselves more than others, you know. I believe in Turkey they did not do the same. They did not blame the Turkish government. Right? If you agree with me in this, and how do you read it?
We have, or the government got delay in announcements. It announced, but after letting the rumors to start to announce or pronounce what is happening, especially like we said, like what we talked about last week about the fire of Tehran and Sanafir. The announcements from the government must be the first, then to let all programs, national and international one, discuss that and discuss what the government announced and what Saudi Arabia announced. That's for example. But if we talk about media and the role of media and the awareness of the Egyptian citizens, let me say that...
Including the social media.
Yes. Including the social media, by the way, yesterday there was not a huge of criticizing or bad actions on the social media yesterday, or a good one. They were celebrating Ramadan and that everything is stable. We have to talk about also about the good things, and we should market. For example, the electricity, the problem of the electricity. Really, we did not face it.
Yes.
Why we did not market that? We have a good thing. We should market. That's what I'm talking about. It's political marketing, by the way, because it's a political file. So the marketing team in the government must move faster than and focus on achievements and also deal with the bad things. It's not only achievements, the positive and the negative both. But let me talk also about the media and the role of media. The last couple of months, for example, there are some changes in some members or program presenters on the private channels in silence. We found that without names, I won't say names, but we found some members that they skip away, or their programs are off, or they stop talking in politics, or they stop, or they go back to the term that they should follow from the beginning, instead of saying their personal own opinion to divide or to divide more the story. So I think after discussing the law of media this month, inshallah, media and the role of media will be different and better.
Well, Dr. Wala, following up with what you were saying, as well as what Nashwa was saying concerning the role of the media and the speech of the president. In his speech, the president said that the Egyptian people proved to the world that their will can't be opposed, and that their determination is set for a better life and a bright future for their offsprings. And of course, at the beginning of his speech, he said that actually the June revolution returned the dignity back and the identity back to the Egyptians. But yet, there are some outlets and some media abroad that are actually fighting that and saying the contrary, and trying to say that actually it was not a revolution. Till now, there are still some newspapers saying that, and some media outlets. Now, from your point of view, in terms of political marketing, how can we counter that?
Of course, the 30th of June revolution gained the benefits of 25th of Jan. Mm-hmm. Without 25th of Jan, there will not be 30th of June, and we have to be sure of that, and he admitted that and said that. Not only 30th of June that we have the President Sisi, but we achieved the part, not all of course, a part of the Egyptians are seeking for, at least facing Muslim brotherhoods. The most critical 2 years in the Egyptian history was since 2011 till 2013, the period that Muslim brotherhoods ruled, or trying to spread the regime among Egyptians. But unfortunately, if there's international media or newspaper that talking about that it is not a revolution or it's a coup, it's the most massive population that came out to the streets asking to stop dealing with Muslim brotherhoods, or to stop that regime and to end that regime of ruling the country. In addition to that, the most important action is that the government, not only Egypt and other Arab countries supports Egypt in that, like Saudi Arabia, announced that Muslim brotherhoods is a terrorist group that we must not deal with. So there are more than one Arab country that is dealing in that way. Only like Turkey or other countries are letting Muslim brotherhoods, they got their own agendas and their own file, but up to now, 25th of Jan, all over what happened, it was stolen by Muslim brotherhoods, and then 30th of June is back. And to insist or to say that we are trying to achieve, the President Sisi is very wise when he left the military system and announced, I'm a civil man, I'm not belonging to military system anymore, as long as I'm going to elections or to presidential elections. That's the very important message, that I'm not a member anymore. So we have to reply in that way.
You know, another important message actually that was delivered yesterday in particular, talking about the challenges we are facing, and the President always stressed on the fact that the challenges are not only from outside Egypt, from inside as well.
Yes.
Maybe the inside is more dangerous, because definitely we have many challenges we are facing on daily basis when it comes to the normal Egyptian citizen. And there are certain people in each community, they are trying to take benefit of this and trying to work on this. If you are angry with something, for example, they will continue just to make it a big issue for you in your life. So I think here we have to take benefit of the role of political marketing, because after the revolution, all of us, all Egyptians, they want the solution tomorrow or today or yesterday. They cannot wait. Definitely they have the right, because we suffered a lot, and Egyptians suffered a lot when it comes to the daily basis needs, commodities, schools, all of these things, medical treatment. So they want solutions today, now, right now. And definitely this will never happen, but they cannot wait. They cannot wait, for example, for 2 or 3 more years, because they have problems every day. So how can we work on this dilemma? I call it dilemma because you don't know how to do or to deal with it.
To start by his own self first. Each one of us, or each Egyptian citizen, must start by his own self. Start and work. For example, let me give an example. Syrians people who came to Egypt, they did not say that they can't find a source to fund their own self, or regardless, they made a lot of projects and they are employed and they gain a lot, and then they have got their own factories and so on, their own business. But when you look about Egyptians or our own traditions, the number of unemployment is very big, which is why we are seeing that's our own attitude. We have to criticize our own self and to change of that. And also from, like we have said, we have talked about the problem of electricity, for example, that we focus on and solve it. The problem of slums, for example, in Egypt is very critical, and we have to focus on. Also, in addition to that, Ramadan series, for example, without names, of course, that use the terminology and the scenes of the slums and making them role models.
As if this is Egypt.
As if this is Egypt. I'm not asking, yes, freedom of speech and do whatever you want, but unfortunately, you are
not in an unethical way.
Yes, not an unethical way. Unfortunately, you're making a lot of Egyptians follow that your own attitude and your own terminology and your own language. This is culture. When you see the old series or the old, for example, let me say, which is a sociable thing, a series called Baba Abdu, for example, which is for the actor Abdelmenem.
Let me tell you that I'm watching the new channel Maspiru Zaman.
Me too. Amazing.
Yes. We want to thank the head of the television union, definitely,
yes, for sure.
Mrs. Hagazi, because this is a brilliant idea, talking about, I've never seen these things, talking about traditions, talking about how to deal in your home, everything, you know.
You know, I have heard, I watched it for just when I'm switching between I have found it talking about how to stand by your country, to stop, to switch off the light, talking about very small traditions that we all miss nowadays. If you talk about the program of Abla Fadila, for example, or the actor Abdelmenem Madbouli, they are delivering a good or a real ethical, family, sociable message that we would like to live in. Not all of us are businessmen or workers, or each one of us has got his own social personal life, so we have to go back to our own traditions. That's why there are some, or most of the series and films in Ramadan delivering a very bad image, as if this is our own unethical terminology, this is our own unethical way, this is Egypt. It's not delivered only to Egypt, it delivers more to the Arab countries that may see Egypt also that as if it's all as slums. Not, of course, we are facing that idea. And don't encourage people who live in slums to make use of the slums, because they stop sometimes to move to better places or something like that. or to change from their habits and attitude. So yes, we are facing a lot of challenges, and Allah with us to overcome it, inshallah.
Well, Dr. Wala, that would bring us to what we've discussed in other previous episodes, the idea of having a media code of ethics and employing it. Now, what's hindering that?
When we talk about code of ethics and freedom of speech. Freedom of speech means it's not to be an unethical way or not to say words that a child cannot listen to, or to shout in television in front of the people who watch you. But the code of ethics, it's very important to be used in media, not to control their words, but to control their attitude. Say whatever you would like to say, criticize, don't agree about anything, but in an ethical, representative way, not shouting or, for example, unfortunately, I won't mention names, or wearing some customs to move with the events that are happening. This is not media. You are making fun of us. So please stop it. Code of ethics, disagree, not follow, criticize, do whatever you would like to deliver, but in an ethical way. That's it.
Maybe this is going to be a little bit interesting as well if the youth can be much interested in mass pluralism, because I'm very much interested in this channel, you know. Actually, they will learn a lot. But unfortunately, time is running up at the end. Dr. Wala Wasfi, thank you very much, Professor of Political Marketing. Thank you very much for joining us. And still, we have more to bring you on our breakfast show. So let's move on to a quick break, and we'll be back to resume our breakfast show.